Alright, we are back with another D&D movie time, and today, as promised, we are going to start diving into some Disney classic cartoons, starting with Snow White. The original classic, I'm not entirely sure, this might be their first animated film, or one of their first animated films, but yeah. We're going to start with Disney's Snow White. And, honestly, I don't think either one of us has ever seen this before. I have probably seen clips here and there, but I don't ever recall sitting through and seeing the whole movie from beginning to end. I know some of the key points. I've seen plenty of clips used in other movies. I've seen images online and stuff, but I've never actually sat and watched the whole movie myself. What about you, Cora?
Yeah.
No, you haven't, or?
No, I haven't.
Are you wearing a new Minecraft shirt?
Maybe.
So, anyways, it looks like it even has an apple on it.
It's a Minecraft heart.
Oh, I thought that was an apple.
A
bee, an apple, and a mouse.
It's an axolotl. There are no mouses in Minecraft.
There's no mouses in Minecraft. They need to fix that. Who's gonna eat all the cheese?
There is no cheese in Minecraft either.
Anyways, we're not talking about Minecraft. We're talking about Snow White. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna dive into this. Now, there is a big controversy with the new film that's maybe gonna come out one day. Hopefully Disney's canceling it. So far, my experiences with, their live-action remakes is... I saw Maleficent, didn't care for it. Didn't like the focus they had on Maleficent rather than on Sleeping Beauty. I seen Beauty and the Beast, which wasn't horrible. There are a few changes I didn't like them making LeFou gay for Gaston.
What?
Yeah. Other than that, I didn't mind that movie, except for that part. That was, like, my biggest issue with that one.
It's supposed to be made for kids.
The Aladdin movie, I actually took Cora to see that, because I was super excited for that one. And that entire movie was just a big woke disappointment. Like, they changed so freaking much in that movie. And I hated everything they changed. And they also were very lazy with that live action. I kept hoping to see, at the end of the movie, I was really, really looking forward to, like, Jafar's little pun war, where he makes a pun about himself and uses his magic to create fire or to turn into the giant snake. I would have loved to have seen that. And yeah, they didn't have that. And they changed so many of the plot points. It was just horrible. Plus, it wasn't also a very good experience because it was sold out and we literally had to sit in the very front row. So our necks were craning up at the screen. I don't know if Cora remembers that. But it wasn't very pleasant. So, I don't think I've seen any other of their live action remakes. I will never watch The Little Mermaid. I've heard that The Lion King is really bad, like, just because it's hard with them trying to make CGI animals look real. Since they didn't use real animals, they just made CGI animals that looked real.
Of course, like, they had to do that.
And so those animals have, like, no facial expressions. I'll just stick with the cartoons if that's the case. So, like I said, so now we got Snow White coming out, and this, although this is your first time, Cora, actually going to sit through, both of our first times sitting through the classic cartoon, we actually both do have, can you sit up? We both do have a reference for Snow White already.
What?
From Once Upon a Time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the main character, Regina, was supposed to be the evil queen. The teacher was the Snow White. And Emma's the daughter of Snow White and Prince Charming. And you know what? If you really want to nitpick and look at, you know, woke culture and stuff, I mean, pretty much that already was woke. I mean, that was like, what are you doing? Why are you breaking your finger off?
I'm not.
Looks like you are. But that already had Snow White being a strong female lead. And there were plenty of times throughout that show that Snow White was a strong leader and had to step up.
Yeah.
Whenever Emma and Prince Charming were off doing something to save the town, and they left Snow White in charge.
Yeah, but Snow White wasn't in her own movie, or in this case, book.
But the character in Once Upon a Time is based off this character from this movie.
I know.
So, but yeah, that's where we know Snow White from, and so it'll be interesting to finally see this with my daughter for the first time in full. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Bye.
Alright, so we just finished Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the original classic animated cartoon by Disney. Cora, what was this movie about?
It was basically about this princess that was the fairest of the all, and the evil queen, which was her evil stepmother, wanted to kill her.
Yeah.
And so then the evil queen's first way to kill was a bounty hunter. The bounty hunter wanted
You mean a huntsman?
huntsman, whatever, the practically the exact same thing, they both hunt.
Well, a huntsman is somebody who goes out and hunts like animals to bring back for the kingdom. So they can eat like deer and pigs and cows.
Yeah, those make sense. It's kind of sad they don't have hamburgers.
Well, hamburgers come from cows.
I
But
know,
they didn't know how to grind up meat and put them in the packs.
Yeah, not until like 1960.
I'm pretty sure they had hamburgers before that.
Okay, whenever hamburgers are finally made.
Anyways.
Anyways, but the huntsman didn't want to kill the queen, and instead...
You mean princess?
I mean princess. So instead, he killed a pig and got its heart because, for proof, the evil queen wanted her heart. If not, it would have been smarter to say head. Head, not heart. Head is actually proof. Anyways. Then, basically, Snow White managed to run away because the huntsman let her go free. And then a bunch of animals found her. She tamed the animals, and they all led her to a house. There's tiny chairs and a tiny little table.
I still want to know what that key was for.
The key for the dwarf's mine?
No. Although I'll get into the logic of that later too.
It's pretty much obvious for the key.
Now, when they're cleaning up the house, there's a little key resting on the floor near the mouse's hole. It's a little weird looking key.
I think they're saying things.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was there.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't there.
Anyways, here you are.
Then Snow White and all the 1,500 billion animals cleaned up the house. Surprisingly, except one room. The bedroom. This is which should actually be the first room to clean. But then instead of cleaning the room, Sleepy Beauty, Snow White decides to sleep. And then the animals come home. They think it's a demon, monster, ghost, after suggestions. Then basically they find out it's the princess, Snow White.
Yeah.
Then basically she wakes up seeing all of them. They basically introduce their names. In Sleepy, Sneezy, Grumpy, Dark, Doopy. Whatever one starts with a G, I'm going to call him Lovely.
Grumpy.
I always say Grumpy.
Don't you have a Lorcana deck of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Yeah, but like if I can go get it now, and plus I don't know where it is.
Anyways, so get on with it.
And he has the two dwarfs. And basically, she teaches them table manners. And basically, they're done washing their hands and face. And then basically, they torture Grumpy.
Yeah. Kind of trying to make him look like the Cowardly Lion. When he got all prettied up in Oz. They have little bows in his beard.
Yeah. That's pretty much torture for anybody that's named Grumpy.
Anyways, so they have dinner, then they dance and sing, then they go to bed. What's the evil queen up to at this time?
She basically makes a potion to make her ugly for a disguise. And
Disguise.
That's what I said. And she poisons a apple, or a few hundred, I don't know. I only see poison one. And then she basically somehow walks, or as I like to say, teleports, because we didn't see her walking. Actually, no, swimming.
What are you talking about? What movie did you watch? She walks through a catacombs of the kingdom, gets onto a boat, and then starts paddling away from the castle.
It's swimming.
No, she's on a boat.
She's swimming with a boat.
Anyways, then what happens?
Then basically Snow White stupidly falls for the trick, and then she dies. The end. Okay, JK. Then basically the dwarfs realize, and they gladly murder the evil queen either by fire damage, drowning, or the big bad portal.
They murder her with 3 different things. And one being a big bad boulder. Are you sure she didn't do it to herself?
I'm sure. Else they would have made Snow White in the Seven Dwarfs too. I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm saying she did it to herself. She was trying to move that boulder, and the lightning struck the ground she was on, and it broke the ground apart, and she fell. And the boulder, instead of falling towards the dwarves, fell on top of her, which we didn't actually see. That's one thing. They don't show a whole lot. There's a lot they don't show. But anyway, so Snow White is under the sleeping curse, and then what?
Then basically the dwarves put her in a glass case.
Dwarfs.
Dwarves.
Dwarves. What's a dwarf? I do not know this word, dwarf. The dwarves then put her in what?
A glass case.
Coffin.
Glass case, rather.
Then
basically the prince comes and kisses the totally non-dead corpse.
Okay, and
then she wakes up. And then the prince takes her to the castle.
And do they live happily ever after?
Yes, what else do you expect from a Disney movie?
Well, you gotta say it.
And they live happily ever after. Blah, blah.
What? Did you forget how to speak? Alright, well, I guess if she was a dwarf, she'd be Giggly. Or Giggles the dwarf. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break, and hopefully Cora can recompose herself so we can give our final scores and thoughts.
Bye.
See you in a minute.
Bye.
For thousands of years, the world has been protected by the Guardian of Light, or as he is more commonly known, Santa Claus. Over the centuries, factors such as fear and prejudice, greed and jealousy, misunderstandings, betrayal and war have segregated most humans from the magical world of elves, fairies, wizards, and the like. This has resulted in many misconceptions and generalizations of the true nature of Santa and his world.
This 6-book series by Sean Connaughton begins as the current of a long series of guardians is murdered by a group of monstrous enemies recently escaped from an enchanted South Pole prison. These creatures are loyal to the darkness, an evil force determined to exterminate the light in order to enslave all creatures of the world.
Shane Connor, an average young man, suddenly finds himself being trained as the new Guardian. As he adapts to his new life among fantastic creatures, he goes on an adventurous quest with a legendary wizard for the ultimate weapon to use against the darkness, and faces murderous enemies like Rasputin, Morgana Le Fay, Krampus, and many more.
Along with his best friend Joe Gomez, Shane encounters politics, history, mysterious murders, new loves, his own hidden past, and racial dynamics among the fantasy races that turn out to be all too real. Their adventures reveal the true nature of the world and challenge the current state of how all races interact.
This series expertly melds myths, legends, history, faiths, folklore, and secret societies into a fascinating, cohesive, comprehensive world of wonder and magic.
From Atlantis to Olympus, from Hades to the moon, and from broomstick races to Christmas deadlines, join the new Santa Claus on his amazing journey. But beware, will Shane's quest achieve his ultimate goal of destroying the darkness and preserving the light of the world? Or is he actually playing right into a plot by dark forces that will result in his, and our, ultimate doom?
So make your list and check it twice for the Guardian of Light book series. Download your audiobook or ebook today from Audible, Amazon, or iTunes.
Alright, Cora, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this movie?
A 10 out of 10. If I ever watch live action, which I would probably never, it would be a negative 0 out of 10. But thank God this is a cartoon.
Well, I mean, you can't say that you would give it a negative 0.
Okay, fine. Let's say
Whatever
well.
a negative 0 is.
A negative 100.
Anyways, because if you don't watch a movie, you can't really score the movie. You gotta give it a fair shot.
Okay, fine.
Was this movie too scary for you? I mean, you're a kid. Was this movie scary at all?
No. And plus, if anybody that says this is scary, then 1, they either need therapy, 2, they haven't even watched the movie.
Yeah. Was any of it scary? Was there any moment that was scary? Huh? That doesn't sound like a yes or no.
I mean, there was one little part, but it didn't scare me. Probably, but if I said it'll probably scare kids that are afraid of their own shadow.
So toddlers or snowflakes?
Yeah.
Okay. Who was your favorite character in the movie?
Dopey.
Dopey? That's most people's favorite character. What was your favorite part of the movie? Scene. What was your favorite scene in the movie?
Grumpy actually was happy for once.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was I was first time when Grumpy was ever happy.
Alright. Well, moving on to my score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I honestly have to give this movie a 6 out of 10. Now, maybe it would have been a little bit higher. Maybe it would have been a 7 or an 8 if I had grown up with this and seen this as a child and actually remembered it. If I have seen it as a child, I don't remember. Like I said, I've only ever seen clips and stuff. It's not a horrible movie. There are a lot of issues, however, as far as the pacing of the story. And I get that they were probably limited with what they could do at the time. And I feel like instead of trying to make a woke version of this movie that says Snow White's don't need no man, what they should actually do is develop some of these characters a whole lot more. Like, we could have gotten more development on the Evil Queen. We could have gotten more development. I mean, Rachel Zegler called the prince creepy. Did you ever find him creepy, Cora? In the 2 scenes he's in at the beginning and the end?
Yeah, and like he was even stalking.
He was?
No, he wasn't.
Oh. But yeah, he's in 2 freaking scenes, and it's like, okay, one, he was just singing along with her. Like, he could have been visiting from his kingdom. He could have been visiting with his family and just happened to come across Snow White in the garden.
It's not called stalking if they know you're there.
Yeah. And even if she didn't know he was there, I mean, still, he's, all he was doing was singing with her. Anyways, and then at the end, he kissed her, and a lot of people are upset. They say, well, wasn't it consent? Wasn't consented? Wasn't consented? She freaking talks about wanting to kiss him throughout the movie. Someday my prince will come? I mean, that's right out telling you she wants him to kiss her.
That's literally at the beginning of the movie.
Well, no, that's in the dwarf's house. When she's singing to the dwarves, when they ask her to tell them a story that's true about her, she starts singing the song, Someday My Prince Will Come.
Then she also sing that.
But, I mean, how much more consent did that need? I mean, yeah, true, the prince didn't hear that song, but still, I'd say that's definitely consent right there. And it's something she wanted. She wanted that prince. But, no. Besides that, like I said, the reason I gave it a 6, though, is there is a lot of time spent with Snow White and the dwarves, but I feel like there could have been more setup with the prince. There could have been more setup with the evil queen. Like I said when Cora was talking earlier, they don't really show a lot. Like, they don't show the evil queen's dead body, which, okay, granted, but they'll show Bambi's mom getting shot. They don't even show what's going on with Snow White when she actually eats the apple. You know, they don't actually show her biting into it or anything. You just see, like, her take the apple, and then she starts making noises and saying, oh, I feel weird. And then her hand falls out into the frame. So, I feel like they could have done a little bit better with that. And this is stuff that they could expand on with a live action movie that I would actually be excited to see. I would like to see more setup of the prince and Snow White. Yeah. Give him a freaking name besides just Prince Charming.
Yeah, maybe like Dave or Johnny or Simpson Prince like.
I mean, that's what his name was even in Once Upon a Time. Once they got their memories back, it was Prince Charming. Actually, I think it was like David or something.
Aha!
But I can't remember. That was that was just his.
Once Upon a Time name.
No, the curse name or whatever.
Of course, stick with that.
But yeah, maybe if I had more to go on, if I had a history with this movie, and I really don't. I did always, pre-like the dwarf characters.
Okay, does that really have to count? You not watching the movie?
What? I'm just saying, I always did like the dwarf characters even before having ever seen the movie in full. Like I said, I saw clips and stuff here and there, but this is my first time actually seeing it from beginning to end. So, that is going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. We're probably going to continue on with Disney movies for a little while, just because right now it seems the easiest movies to review, and with the way we review them, Disney seems to be the easiest to review. So, with that said, we will see you all next time.
Bye.